symbol from left bottom, the enhance voice. Jaya Radha Madhava परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतक श्रीमद अष्टमंगरे सभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतक श्रीमद अष्टमंगरे सभय चरण भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की रामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद्भागवतम की श्रील प्रभुपाद की। Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Sun Mandir ISKCON Detroit Shrimadbhagavatam morning class. Today we are reading from Canto 1, Chapter 12, Birth of Emperor Parikshit. Text 34. Let us start with invocation prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Welcome to the right Shrimadbhagavatam morning class. So today we are reading from Canto 1, Chapter 12, Birth of Emperor Parikshit, Text 34. Tena Samvritha Samharo. Tena Samvrita Samharo. Tena Samvrita Samharo. Dharma Putro Yudhishthira. Dharma Putro Yudhishthira. Vajimedhais Tribhir Bhito. Vajimedhais Tribhir Bhito. Vajimedhais Tribhir Bhito. Yajnai Samayajat Dharim. Yajnai Samayajat Dharim. Yajnai Samayajadarim. Tena Samvrita Samharo. Dharma Putro Yudhishthira. Vajimedhais Tribhir Bhito. Yajnai Samayajadhirim Harim. Yajnai Samayajadharim. Anyone would like to repeat? Tena Samvrita Samharo. Tena Samvrita Samharo. Dharma Putro Yudhishthira. Vajimedhais Tribhir Bhito. Yajnai Samayajadharim. Let us go word by word. Tena, with that wealth. Samvritha, collected. Samhara, ingredients. Dharmaputra, the pious king. Yudhishthira, Vajimedhai, by horse sacrifices. Tribhi, 3 times. Pitha, being greatly afraid. After the battle of Kurukshetra. Yajnai, sacrifices. Samayajat, perfectly worship. Harim, the personality of Godhead. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Sharanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. By those riches, the king could procure the ingredients for 3 horse sacrifices. Thus, the pious king Yudhishthira, who was very fearful after the battle of Kurukshetra, pleased Lord Hari, the personality of Godhead. Please repeat. By those riches, the king could procure
procure
the ingredients
the ingredients
for 3 horse sacrifices.
for 3 horse sacrifices.
Thus,
Thus,
the pious king Yudhishthira,
the pious king Yudhishthira,
who was very fearful,
who was very fearful,
after the battle of Kurukshetra,
after the battle of Kurukshetra,
pleased
pleased
Lord Hari,
Lord,
the personality of Godhead.
the personality of God.
Perfect. Maharaja Yudhishthira was the ideal and celebrated pious king of the world, and still he was greatly afraid after the execution of the battle of Kurukshetra because of the mass killing in the fight, all of which was done only to install him on the throne. He therefore took all the responsibility for sins committed in the warfare, and to get rid of all these sins, he wanted to perform 3 sacrifices in which horses are offered at the altar. Such a sacrifice is very costly. Even Maharaja Yudhishthira had to collect the necessary heaps of gold left by Maharaja Marutta and the Brahmanas who were given gold in charity by King Marutta. The learned Brahmanas could not take away all the loads of gold given by Maharaja Marutta, and therefore they left behind the major portion of the gift. And Maharaja Marutta also did not again collect such heaps of gold given away in charity. Besides that, all the golden plates and utensils which were used in the sacrifice were also thrown in dustbins, and all such heaps of gold remained unclaimed property for a long time, till Maharaja Yudhishthira collected them for his own purposes. Lord Sri Krishna advised the brothers of Maharaja Yudhishthira to collect the unclaimed property because it belonged to the king. The more astonishing thing is that no subject of the state also collected such unclaimed gold for industrial enterprise or anything like that. This means that the state citizens were completely satisfied with all necessities of life and therefore not inclined to accept unnecessary productive enterprises for sense gratification. Maharaja Yudhishthira also requisitioned the heaps of gold for performing sacrifices and for pleasing the Supreme Hari, personality of Godhead. Otherwise, he had no desire to collect them for the state treasury. One should take lessons from the acts of Maharaja Yudhishthira. He was afraid of sins committed on the battlefield, and therefore he wanted to satisfy the supreme authority. This indicates that unintentional sins are also committed in our daily occupational discharge of duties, and to counteract even such unintentional crimes, one must perform sacrifices as they are recommended in the revealed scriptures. The Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita, Yajnata karmano anyatra loko ayam karma bandhanaha. So that one must perform sacrifices recommended in the scriptures in order to get rid of commitments of all unauthorized work or even unintentional crimes which are appropriate to commit. By doing so, one shall be free from all kinds of sins, and those who do not do so but work for self-interest or sense gratification have to undergo all tribulations accrued from committed sins. Therefore, the main purpose of performing sacrifices is to satisfy the Supreme Personality Hari. The process of performing sacrifices may be different in terms of different times, places and persons, but the aim of such sacrifices is one and the same at all times and in all circumstances: satisfaction of the Supreme Lord Hari. That is the way of pious life. and that is the way of peace and prosperity in the world at large. Maharaja Yudhishthira did all this as the ideal pious king in the world. If Maharaja Yudhishthira is a sinner in his daily discharge of duties, in royal administration of state affairs, wherein killing of man and animals is a recognized art, then we can just imagine the amount of sins committed consciously or unconsciously by the untrained population of Kali Yuga who have no way to perform sacrifice to please the Supreme Lord. The Bhagavatam says, therefore, that the prime duty of the human being is to satisfy the Supreme Lord by the performance of one's occupational duty. Bhagavatam 1.2. Canto 1, Chapter 2, Text 13. Let any man of any place or community, caste or creed be engaged in any sort of occupational duty, but he must agree to perform sacrifices as it is recommended in the scriptures for the particular place, time and person. In Vedic literatures, it is recommended that in Kali Yuga, people engage in glorifying the Lord by chanting the holy name of Krishna. Kirtanadeva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Rajet, without offense. By doing so, one can be freed from all sins and thus can attain the highest perfection of life by returning home back to Godhead. We have already discussed this more than once in this great literature in different places, especially in the introductory portion by sketching the life of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And still, we are repeating the same with a view to bring about peace and prosperity in society. The Lord has declared openly in Bhagavad Gita how He becomes pleased with us. Jai Shri Radha Krishna, Jai Jai Jagannath, Jai Jai Shri Nitai. The Lord has declared openly in Bhagavad Gita how He becomes pleased with us, and the same process is practically demonstrated in the life and preaching work of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The perfect process of performing yajnas or sacrifice to please the Supreme Lord Hari, the personality of Godhead, who gets us free from all miseries of existence, is to follow the ways of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this dark age of quarrel and dissension. Maharaja Yudhishthira had to collect heaps of gold to secure the paraphernalia for horse sacrifice yajnas in days of sufficiency. So we can hardly think of such performance of yajnas in these days of insufficiency and complete scarcity of gold. At the present moment, we have heaps of papers and promises of their being converted into gold by economic development of modern civilization. And still, there is no possibility of spending riches like Maharaja Yudhishthira, either individually or collectively or by state patronization. Just suitable, therefore, for the age is the method recommended by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in terms of Shastra. Such a method requires no expenditure at all and yet can award more benefit than any other expensive methods of yajna performances. The horse sacrifice yajna or cow sacrifice yajna performed by the Vedic regulations shouldn't be misunderstood as a process of killing animals. On the contrary, animals offered for the yajna were rejuvenated to a new span of life by the transcendental power of chanting the Vedic hymns, which, if properly chanted, are different from what is understood by the common layman. The Veda mantras are all practical, and the proof is regeneration of the sacrificed animal. There is no possibility of such methodical chanting of the Vedic hymns by the so-called Brahmanas or priests of the present age. The untrained descendants of the twice born families are no more like their forefathers, and thus they are counted amongst the Shudras or once born men. The once born man is unfit to chant the Vedic hymns, and therefore there is no practical utility of chanting the original hymns. And to save them all, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu propounded the Sankirtana movement or Yajna for all practical purposes. And the people of the present age are strongly recommended to follow this sure and recognized path. Such a long purport. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsta Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusuti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, welcome back to Shrimadbhagavatam reading. So, let us go through translation once again. By those riches, the king could procure the ingredients for 3 horse sacrifices, Ashvamedha Yajnas. Thus, the pious king Yudhishthira was very fearful after the battle of Kurukshetra, pleased Lord Hari, the personality of Godhead. So, yesterday we have seen how important is the service and sacrifice, and what is the role of sacrifice, what is the actual sacrifice in this Kali Yuga. And today also we're gonna see little bit more on that and why Yudhishthira got fearful. So now we are in Canto 1 of Shrimadbhagavatam, and the Kurukshetra war is over. Massive destruction and millions of people were lost their lives. The Pandavas have won the war, and Maharaj Parikshit's birth has just been described, and the qualities have been predicted by the Brahmanas. And now the focus shifts to the inner condition of Maharaja Yudhishthira, because after battle of Kurukshetra, Maharaj Yudhishthira felt so grief, and so he just felt so fearful that because of his enthroned, he got this throne upon killing of many people. He was feeling so fearful and so grief. So, even though externally it was the victory for them and they achieved a great kingdom, but internally he is fearing. So today, the main sections that we're gonna cover today is the fear of Yudhishthira and the conscience of a dharmic leader, and Yajna as atonement, scriptural mandate, Kali Yuga application, the Sankirtana Yajna. So first comes first is the fear of Yudhishthira and conscience of a dharmic leader. So we may all get doubt. So why did Yudhishthira got afraid? Why was he afraid? The whole battle of Kurukshetra was happened under this, in the presence of Supreme Lord. So when there is Supreme Lord and upon whose instruction the war has happened, and Supreme Lord himself is along the side of Pandavas, then why Yudhishthira got fearful? So, because Yudhishthira took responsibility on him, because many soldiers have lost their lives, many living entities like elephants, horses, many animals, they lost their lives just to enthrone Maharaj Yudhishthira back to throne. So he was very much fearful and he took that sin on him. So, but we all know this war was divinely sanctioned by Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, because Krishna says in chapter 11, text 33 of Bhagavad Gita, and Krishna says like, Krishna has already arranged their death, and Krishna explains to Arjuna that Arjuna, you are not killing them and you cannot kill them. You are seeing the external bodies, but they are not external bodies themselves, but they are the spirit souls. So no one can kill the spirit souls, as we see in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So, but still Yudhishthira got fearful of his sin because he is a great devotee of the Lord and he is the personified Dharma. So he is the son of Yamadharmaraj. So he has that quality, Dharma. He wants to hold that Dharma at all times and he wants to take that responsibility. He is a very ideal king in that yuga. So even though he done upon the instruction of Supreme Lord, but still he is fearful. So we understand okay, why does a devotee actually fear? You say Yudhishthira Maharaj is a great devotee, but why did he fear? Because he has that spiritual intelligence and spiritual vision. So in Shrimadbhagavatam, in first canto, 5th chapter, we see this Tyaktva sadharmam charanam bhujam hare. Even incomplete devotion protects one. And Yudhishthira Maharaj, he knew only Hari could absolve all the reactions and sins. And what is the ideal leadership principle? So how the real leadership works is like, the true real leadership refers to accountability and responsibility. They will not blame anyone, and Yudhishthira can simply put upon Duryodhana, oh, Duryodhana has done this, Duryodhana has done that, and they were trying to kill us, they were trying to poison us, they did adharmic thing, but he did not blame anyone. And he did not blame his destiny, as we all do sometimes. So, oh, it's in my destiny, I got this, I got that. But he did not do that. He took the full entire responsibility on him. So this shows how a devotee of the Lord is the true leader. And also we see in the prayers of Bhishmadev, how Bhishmadev instructs to Yudhishthira Maharaj how to rule a kingdom in a very righteous way and in a prosperous way. So he instructs him not to lament excessively, but Yudhishthira's humility is being glorified by Supreme Lord Sri Krishna and Vishnudev. So, I would like to quote a small analogy over here. Is like daily, this is a daily analogy that we observe in day-to-day life. It's about the surgeon. So, a surgeon performs necessary operations, like he may take scissors, he may take knife, he may use knife, but that doesn't mean he wanted to kill the patient, but he wants to cure that patient, and he takes that responsibility in curing the patient. So even if done properly or improperly, he takes that responsibility. Doctor takes that responsibility. If the patient is saved, then he says everything is blessing of God and God has rescued. But if anything happens, nowadays, like, the hospitals are not taking risk upon, like, whenever there is some operations or something, they are taking a NOC, like, no objection from patients, relatives or something, family members, and even they are making the agreements, like, they upon their own risk they are doing the operation. So similar, but previously they some doctors, like many doctors in old age, like, they used to take that responsibility. Even they used to lament more and more, they used to grieve more. So similarly, Yudhishthira acted as Kshatriya but felt accountable. So we all know what's the duty of Kshatriya, and how a Kshatriya has to rule the kingdom, how to administer the kingdom. We all know, like, sometimes even not by chance, like, not willingly, but by chance, if some kingdom attacks you, you have to, at least for your defense, you have to attack them. So until and unless if one comes and if one danger comes, lifting a weapon or using a weapon is not prescribed. But if something happens, some invasion is happening, in order to protect your kingdom and righteous principles, you have to step into the war, or step into the fighting with the other fellow kings, because just to protect your citizens and your kingdom. So next comes is like Yajna as atonement or prashchitta. So what is the scriptural mandate? So we all know, like, why we perform yajnas: for the welfare of entire society, entire world or state, so entire country. So even in the purport today it's mentioned as Bhagavad Gita 3.9, Yajna tat karmano anyatra loko ayam karma bandhana. So work done for sacrifice frees one, otherwise it binds. Because we can simply think of it this, like, if we try to please our loved ones, we try to do some sacrifice, we try to sacrifice our time, our energy for them, we try to serve them nicely. So in return, what you will get? You will experience that happiness. But what to speak of serving the Supreme Lord and sacrificing for Him? So that gives a greater pleasure when compared to we do in this material world. That is more blissful and very transcendental. So the work that is done for the sacrifice of Supreme Lord Sri Sri Radhakunj Bihari, that relieves us from material miseries, and also that helps us to detach from this material world and try to develop our relationship with Krishna. So we see even in the purport, like, even unintentional sins binds to this material world, because Yudhishthira had no intention of killing people, because he himself has proposed the peace proposal to the Kauravas. But still, Kauravas, like headed by Duryodhana, they did not agree for that, and Duryodhana did not even agree to give a land that is been under the needle of one pierce. So what to speak of, like, their injustice was that, and the peace proposal was rejected, and Krishna himself is been the the person who took the peace proposal to the Kauravas. So if they are not listening to Supreme Personality of Godhead also, then destruction is sure to happen. So, and we see there are various sacrifices mentioned for each yuga, and there are yuga dharmas. So in the previous yugas, they used to perform horse sacrifices or Ashvamedha Yajna, which is extremely costly. We cannot even think of how much cost is it, because various saintly kings, like previous kings who are very opulent and riches, even we see Maharaj Yudhishthira, how how rich his kingdom, but still he has to collect the gold. So think of it, how much costly is that to perform sacrifice. And in this yuga, we don't have that much amount of wealth and that much amount of time. So what to speak of those sacrifices? And also, we don't find the perfect brahmanas who are very, very highly scholarly and highly knowledgeable in this yuga. And because we see that even in the previous verses, from past 5-6 verses, we have seen the brahmanas, how accurately they predicted the Parikshit Maharaj's life. Can anyone say that much accurate in this lifetime? Some people may say, but not completely accurate, like not 100% accurate, maybe around 60 to 70% accurate maybe. So that is also one of the reasons that we cannot perform Ashvamedha Yajnas and similar kind of sacrifices in this age of Kali. And one sacrifice that is been instructed or recommended in this Kali Yuga is Sankirtan Yajna, that we're going to see in the next section. So one may think of, why Yudhishthira Maharaj performing 3 sacrifices? Because it indicates the depth of fear, how much fearful the Yudhishthira is. Because even though he is that much righteous, that much noble person, and is an ideal ruler, but still he takes that responsibility. He laments for those who have lost their lives in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So he wanted complete purification, and he wanted to protect all the citizens, and he wanted to lead a prosperous kingdom. So we observe this common analogy in our day-to-day life, like driving produces pollution unintentionally. Even though you don't want to contribute to the pollution, but still, if you are driving vehicle, or if you are using some other than EV vehicles, then automatically you will be adding to the pollution contribution, knowingly or unknowingly, because you can't do anything. You are using that fuel, and upon burning that fuel, the gases that are being emitted are just left into the open environment. And if there are no enough forest and vegetation, then where is the purification happen to that air? So, and you offset through environmental contribution. So we must understand how to reduce that effect of that emission of gases, and we have to try to reduce the usage of that so and so vehicles that are contributing more, and we have to try to switch to public transportation or EV vehicles whenever possible. So through that, even though you might be contributing for pollution, but you are taking some active measures to counteract that effect. So occupational duty produces subtle karmic emissions, and Yajna is a karmic offset mechanism to counteract those karmic reactions. So we all saw the previous verse, how this heap of gold has been kept there by King Maruta. I mean, he donated it to the Brahmanas at that time during like charity sacrifices, when they perform many pujas, or they usually kings give in charity gold, cows, and all the necessary items for Brahmanas. So this is the story behind why that heaps of gold is been available. Because Brahmanas at that time, they were not greedy. Oh, I want this, I want that, I want this much, I want all the gold I only want. So they were not greedy. Whatever they want, whatever their life, how much ever they could sustain in their life, whatever is required gold for them, they just took that, and remaining they just kept as is and outside the kingdom. So at that time, society was content and non-greedy, and not industrially exploitative. As we currently see how much exploitation is being observed in our current society. Many, like several examples of exploitation on various levels of exploitation also we can see, like in a common society, between nations, between states. So it's on a very hierarchical level of exploitation happening now. So modern civilization with paper currency, promises of economic growth, but still there is no, like, there are full of anxieties, there are full of fear, as we see many fightings, many wars are still taking place in recent times. So don't know at what time, what happens, what is the situation at the next moment also. So it's been a very critical situation right now. So to counteract that, like in order to stay protected, what we have to do in this Kali Yuga is like the Sankirtana Yajna or Sankirtana revolution. So as we saw in the previous section, we cannot perform Ashvamedha Yajna because we don't have enough riches. Even though if we have that much riches, we don't have that much lifespan in this Yuga, because we see that life expectancy, how drastically it's been reducing year by year. Previously it used to be like at least 150 years or something. Now it's been reduced year by year. It's been reducing, like still if someone crosses 100 years, they are being considered as superhumans, because at very young age also many people die and lose their lives, and many people commit suicides due to stress and anxieties. So, and even there are no qualified brahmanas in the society to perform those huge sacrifices. That's not an easy thing. We understand there are brahmanas who perform rituals and some worships to deities, but still Ashvamedha Yajna is far beyond their level, and the purity itself has to be on a very high scale. So there are no that much qualified brahmanas to perform Ashvamedha Yajnas. And the mantra potency, that Ashvamedha Yajna is not prescribed in this Kali Yuga because people in this age are not that much intelligent and not that much qualified to perform. And also we don't see that much purity in the society when compared to other yugas. Because there is no contamination, there is no adulteration in previous yugas. They were pure, even though they might have committed mistakes, but they were upholding the societal values. But still today, nothing. Everywhere, wherever we could see, there is adulteration, contamination, pollution. So what is prescribed for this yuga? So as we see in the purport, Kirtana Deva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Rajet. Simply by chanting Krishna's name, one becomes liberated. And in this age of Kali Yuga, it's only holy name of Lord can rescue us and is being recommended to us. Hare Nama eva kevalam. Kalau nasti eva gatiranyata. There is no other way to get the benediction of Lord except the holy name in this age of Kali. So, even yesterday we have seen the Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has inaugurated the Sankirtana movement, because we all know Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself in the mood of Srimati Radharani. That's why the complexion of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not blackish or blue, but it's golden color. And even in the upcoming cantos of Shrimadbhagavatam, in 11th canto, we see the detailed description of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam Sango Pangas Kraparshadam Yagnai Sankirtanai Prayat Yajantihi Sumedasaha. So he inaugurates the Sankirtana Yajna. He comes along with his principal associates and all his devotees and who are from the spiritual planet, who are very dear to him. He's been accompanied by all those souls here. So Sankirtana Yajna, which is very perfect and is recommended Yajna in this age of Kali, has no expense because it's very free to chant like Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You just have to spend the time in chanting of the holy name of the Lord, and you don't have to spend anything beyond that time, because as we see, Ashvamedha Yajna is extremely costly. We have to collect heaps of gold, but that is not required in this Sankirtana Yajna. We just have to chant properly the 16 syllable mantra, like Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and also we have to be careful like in pronouncing the mantra, and we have to be very cautious. Initially we may face like if we are new, our mind may get distracted many times. Even then, if we try our best and if we try to take the help of senior devotees or saintly personalities and follow the instructions of our acharyas, one day it's definitely sure that we are gonna chant the holy name without any offense, and we try to relish the taste of that holy name throughout the process, and the end result success and getting back to Godhead is being assured by Supreme Lord Sri Krishna himself, because he himself came in the form of a devotee as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he spread the holy name of Krishna to each and everyone with regards to any qualifications, any sections of society, nothing. He's rich, he's poor, he's black, he's white, nothing. To everyone. He predicted that this holy name will be chanted in each and every corner of the world, in each and every village and town of the world. So, how powerful is that holy name? Even not only humans, but also other living entities like animals in Harikanda forest, they got into ecstasy by hearing the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that's been an amazing thing. And this yajna doesn't require any animal sacrifice, no wealth in it, and it is accessible to all. And Krishna even says in Bhagavad Gita as Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. So Krishna accepts simple offerings with devotion, and also as it is recommended chanting, we have to make our priority in the day of life for the chanting, and we may have many commitments in our day like work or career, or to have going for school, attending colleges, and having family commitments. But still, if you try to spend at least 1.5 to 2 hours per day for chanting, then slowly your heart will get purified, and you will get to know what my position and how to attain that position and get back to my original home, that is spiritual abode of Krishna. So he is anxiously waiting for all of us. And out of his causeless mercy, he descended into this material world in the form of a devotee and has spread this holy name with all of us. So for various yugas, there are various dharmas prescribed. In the Krita Yuga or Satya Yuga, the prescribed thing is meditation, because the lifespan of the people is very long. And in the Treta Yuga, it came to sacrifices like yajnas, that is been prescribed. And in Dwapara Yuga, it comes to deity worship. And in Kali Yuga, the Nama Sankirtana Yajna is been prescribed. This all has the same goal, but just the different methods, just which are applicable to a time and place and situation kind of thing. So Because we all know how this world is getting degraded day by day, how is it being facing tribulations from all across the globe. So we understand the severity of the pain of this world. So we have to respect the scriptures and act according to scriptures, then there will be prosperous and peace all over the world. So I would like to conclude today's verse by saying few takeaways like spiritual advancement increases sensitivity. Even the pure soul gets fear of sin. Karma is very subtle. Even unintentional acts still binds us to this material world. We may think, oh, I am not thinking of doing that, but still you are doing. So you will get that action. You will get that results. You have to face that result. And sacrifice is non-negotiable. No one escapes this karma without yajna. And this Kali Yuga mercy is like Sankirtan Yajna, which is the supreme yajna and is easily accessible to each and every one of us in the society, is been prescribed in this age of Kali. And demigods and various people in Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, they wanted to take birth in this Kali Yuga and they want to take up this process very seriously, and they want to practice it in a because every one of us likes to follow easy process, and because we don't want to stress ourselves, we don't want to strain ourselves, so we want to take up the easy process and attain the more results. So if that's the case, then Sankirtana Yajna is for us, all of us, and we have to take up that Sankirtana Yajna chanting, and also not only keeping it with yourself, but try to spread out with others, with your friends, relatives, and family members, and each and every one. And if you try to spread, you will get more and more happiness. And also, as we all know, tomorrow is Gaura Purnima, the appearance day of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who has inaugurated this Sankirtana Yajna. So it's a great opportunity for all of us to render whatever service we could do for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And the first and topmost service that everyone can do is like committing for attentive chanting. If you are chanting some certain number of rounds, try to increase them. If you are chanting 16 rounds or more, then try to chant more and more attentively. Slowly you can start round by round, like you can start like, okay, this week I will start by doing one round of attentive chanting, and the next week I'll try to increase one more, like that. So slowly, what happens at one time, each and every one of your round, like in 16 rounds, each and every round has the attentive chanting in it, through which you don't commit any offenses to the holy name, and you please Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in a great humble way. And also Mahaprabhu instructs everyone to spread out this holy name. Go, try to preach society and other people also. And they also wanted to relish the taste and make them relish the taste, and invite them to temple, engage them in service, kirtans, and try to serve them prasadam. So it's a great opportunity for all of us. So we warmly invite everyone for Gaura Purnima celebrations tomorrow, happening at evening starting from 4:15, and at any time, and even the morning Mangalarti. It's a very auspicious day and auspicious time which you can make use of it. And if you could come to temple in the Mangalarti, it would be very amazing, and you could use that auspicious Brahma Muhurta time for your chanting also. And we have to beg Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even myself, beg Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that please give me the mercy to chant attentively and without committing any offenses, so that the holy name has that influence, has that power on us to purify. Even if you chant unintentionally, unconsciously. Also, it has the power to cleanse the heart, like the dust accumulated on the heart for ages and ages. And but if you try to consciously chant it without any offenses, then it has more power, and you will get more and more closer to Krishna and Radha Kunj Bihari. So try to attend the event, and it will be very blissful experience, and it will be a memorable experience. There is a lot of programs scheduled in the evening tomorrow, like Abhishek and various other deity worship, and you can experience the great Aarti in the evening, and also Sloka Brahma Samhita recitation and Kirtans, various Kirtans, and also there is a drama of Jagai and Madai pastime that is very amazing, and you can feel the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how merciful he is and how merciful is Lord Nityananda. So please try to join tomorrow for Gaura Purnima celebrations at ISKCON Detroit, their Seven Mandir. Hare Krishna. Anyone have any questions, comments, realizations?
Thank you for the wonderful business.
Hare Krishna.
And
Grantha Shrimadbhagavatam ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.